impact alert going for Wednesday, Thursday, and at least the first half of Friday. It might be drying out a little bit for 4th of July. I'll be talking about that. We do have some rain that's out there now, although a lot of the stuff that's been over the Gulf has fallen apart, but there are some showers and storms headed on shore. I'll talk about that coming up. And some breaking news from the Hurricane Center. They have raised the chances for development only to 40%, and they've kind of stuck it further out into the Atlantic. I'm talking about that right now on our 10 Tampa Bay Plus streaming channel. And you can download that app for your TV or you can watch it on your phone. We'll be doing that right now for the next 15 minutes. All right, now we'll get you back to programming. Okay, guys, welcome back. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. Just after 9 o'clock on our Tuesday evening. We've been keeping you up to date here, usually on the hour almost, it seems like, for the last couple of days, just to get you updated on the rain that's coming through. Today, though, was really our driest day, so not a whole lot to update you on, except some of that breaking news from the Hurricane Center, where they've kind of raised the chance of development just a little bit. But we do have some rain starting to come in now, and this is kind of setting the stage for the rain that we'll be getting here tomorrow. Yesterday in the Citrus County, Levy County line, we had a flood advisory. We had about 2 to 3 inches of rain. And then today, in fact, look at this. This area down here, it's going to pop up here in just a minute. Hardy, DeSoto, Highlands County, basically down into DeSoto County. We saw, that's not what I want this right here. We saw 3 to 4 inches of rainfall, right? That is the type of rain that we're talking about that could cause the issues over the next couple of days. So we could end up with a flood watch. We don't have anything like that at this particular time, but we do have, I don't think so. What's this say right now? I'm getting a little alert right now. Okay, now we're good. But we are looking at the possibility for any of these storms that come through can make some pretty decent downfalls, right? Now, look at this map here and keep in mind, because this is kind of how it's going to be. We had a line of thunderstorms that was moving from north to south, and it actually was a pretty long line. They didn't get rain over here. They didn't get rain over here, yet they had almost 3.5 inches right in the middle. Okay? That's going to be the nature of this as we go through the next 48 hours or so. If you look back over here, this is just for today. Remember, again, today's one of our drier days. We had a line of storms form and kind of drop this rain right in here. Nothing out here towards Osprey, Camp Osprey, right? Fishhawk, Dry, Brandon, Thedona, Sassa. For the most part, we had a little rain right there. But now we are starting to see some more showers trying to move in. It's not a lot, but it is at the point where it's going to start to fill in a little bit overnight. So just, I mean, nothing terrible. The little nuisance showers here up through northern Pinellas County, East Lake Woodlands. This is the McMullen Booth Road area. That's US 19. There's McMullen Booth right there, East Lake Woodlands. And then basically this is Brooker Creek Preserve. What is that? Tarpon Springs Road going across there. So Trinity, we could end up with a few light showers. Not, again, I don't even see any thunder or lightning, obviously, in this area. But if you look offshore, you'll see some more showers trying to develop and then falling apart. What happens in this westerly flow, it's like a west to southwest wind, you tend to pop up showers and storms in the morning hours right here along the coast and then blow them on shore. And then through midday, they pop up and then they blow over to the East Coast. Well, that's going to happen, but as the storms midday blow over the East Coast, you pop up more back along the coast again. That's the trend that we're going to be seeing, and that's why the water is going to start to add up just a little bit. Now, this is the latest from the Hurricane Center. Couple different things. Obviously, they changed this. Yesterday it was 20%. This morning it was 30%. Now it's 40%. And they have shifted this cone a little bit. This is not a cone, I guess I shouldn't say that. This is a hatched area is what we call it. This is an area of concern that we could see some development inside of this. Now, the GFS tries to put a very weak low right here. So I like the fact that the Hurricane Center is kind of CYA right there, where they put the area over here to the left. But most of the modeling is suggesting something weak somewhere out in here over the next Friday night, Saturday, Sunday time frame, and then kind of drifting maybe to the north or just meandering around, not doing too much, and then to the north. That's what the modeling is suggesting at this particular point, okay? So that's what we're going to be watching for. Meanwhile, just some isolated showers. I do think we can't rule out rain forecast in the forecast for tonight, just like what you're seeing there in western Pasco County. Citrus, same deal. In fact, Citrus have a better chance for some rain as we get going into later this evening. But this is not the type you want to cancel any plans for. Look at this line as it was coming on shore, and then it just tends to fall apart. Okay, so most of that green you see there moving in Manatee County there east of 75 near Ellenton, that's not rain. That's just a little feedback on the radar there from some of the moisture. And then look at all the rain inland. Finally, that fell apart. Let's go back what, 3 hours here, and you can see all those showers and storms as they finally fell apart. Now, the tropics. One thing I will say here is the atmosphere has this way of doing it where it can get lift at certain times in the atmosphere from north to south. But you see what's happening here? This is Hurricane Flossie, all right? 110 mile per hour winds out here in the Pacific. This is an area to watch, and that's got about a 40 to 50% chance of developing in the Pacific, okay? This area has been more active. It starts earlier. It's been more active. We haven't seen much at all, really. Well, we had 2 named storms already, but very short-lived, okay, in the Atlantic Basin. But sometimes when you get lift here, you tend to get lift here. So it's not a surprise that the atmosphere is trying to give a little bit of lift and make some tropical mess happen. Now, this is a mess because we've got a lot going on. The frontal boundary is coming down. We've got an upper level trough sitting in here like this. That's why we're getting the rain that we're getting now. But then when this frontal boundary gets here, it helps to push more rain towards the coast here, right? It's kind of funneling it in, if you will. And that's what's going to happen tomorrow and tomorrow evening. This is basically Friday morning. But you can see once that front gets down over the water, we start watching these areas for tropical development on the backside and then even up in here. And this is the European model. You see a little circle right there? That's saying, well, maybe a low's trying to develop. But then it says, well, maybe a low's trying to develop. But very weak, and there's nothing really going. This, to me, shows more than anything else. Look at these wind arrows. You see this? That's trying to show a weak area of low pressure developing out over the Atlantic. And this is not what only the main run of the Europeans doing, but the ensemble runs puts a low here, low here, low here, maybe a low here. But the bottom line is it's trying to put it somewhere out into this area. And that's one of the reasons why I think the Hurricane Center is basically extending that area to watch further out into the Atlantic and up the southeast coast just a little bit. Here we are by the time we get towards 1 p.m. on Sunday. There it is. All my friends in the Carolinas, this is not the hurricane party, so you can have a party anyways. But this is, that's what you do. I get it. That's what I would do. But you may actually have to have some rain to deal with. And this is on Sunday afternoon of 4th of July weekend. Long weekend, 3-day weekend, right? So that's part of playing into the forecast here. And then as we get into Monday, 8 p.m., you see maybe there's something left over right here. And this is just the European model. It doesn't mean this is going to happen, right? The GFS doesn't really have too much. Again, it tries to put something here and then kind of wash it out. So we will have to see what that happens. But look, now the chances of that happening are getting slightly higher. Let's talk forecast. Here's the rain through tonight. This is around 2 a.m. Look at Citrus County again. And this is falling in those areas that have seen upwards of 2 to 3 inches of rainfall already, right? So if you went back to yesterday, go through Sunday and see how much rain we get, some of the estimates on the models were 4 to 6 inches. You could get that in 2-3 days. Much less 4 to 5 days. All right, now let's go out to 6 o'clock in the morning. There will be some scattered showers and storms around for tomorrow morning's commute. And then you can see those a little bit further offshore. But watch as we get towards about 8 o'clock in the morning, more of them popping up over land, and that will slow you down just a little bit. Then as we go through mid-morning, the land starts to heat up. We have more lift here. This is around noon to 1 o'clock. Those cells are putting down some heavy rainfall. And look at that stretch of I-75 if that were to happen, right? So very heavy rainfall through midday. This is another version of the model, kind of look at a little bit bigger version and then take it out to about midday. That's that same line I just showed you. Watch how it moves to the East Coast, okay? It just went from here to here, but then after it left, we developed another batch. And that's the difference. Normally with a west wind like this, we would get those storms to form around 1 o'clock, and then by 5, 6 o'clock, what you're looking at here, they're all the way over here on the East Coast, and we're dry. Not the case tomorrow. Look what happens. That is the difference. And so it's one wave after another. So it doesn't rain all day, but you keep the rain chances going. And then look, this is 10 o'clock at night, and you still have some rain pushing into the area. Overnight, Thursday night into Friday. Or that was Wednesday night into Thursday, excuse me. This is early Thursday morning into about 11 o'clock. There you go. More rain coming in, Now, the one difference is this is a little bit further to the south with some of the heavier rain. Not by much, but a little bit. But you see still, I mean, it's 6:30 on Thursday. Look at all this rain here in the Tampa Bay area, especially Manatee County, southern Pinellas. And then here's the deal. Look at Friday morning early, and then Friday around noon. Look at this. This is drier air up here. Yes, 1 or 2 showers or storms will pop up in the afternoon and evening. But most of the moisture that's been rotating through is now south of I-4 and headed towards South Florida. Okay, and this is important because this is the 4th of July, right? This is noon on the 4th of July. So we were really trying to figure out this forecast, obviously for the evening hours more than anything else, but this is holiday, man. People are traveling into town tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. They're all set up. They've got the boat. Saturday got the boat. All these different things going on. Fireworks, of course, Friday night. What's the weather going to be? Well, let's go back to the model, and you'll see that we do have some rain here. Now, this is as far out as the model will go in time right now, okay? But you see how we're popping up 1 or 2 showers here? We're going to do that in here. Now, I can live with that, right? This down here, especially Sarasota southward, Hardy, DeSoto, we might have to watch for a much better chance for rain for fireworks. But the further you get from Tampa northward, the better chance we're going to run into some dry enough air that we're just dodging showers. And that's all. You know what? That's what you should be able to ask for this time of year. It's Florida. It's Tampa. We get afternoon showers and thunderstorms on the 4th of July, right? Most of the time. The weather we're getting tomorrow and Thursday is not most of the time. And so if we can get it in and out of here by late Thursday and early Friday, we'll time it a little bit better, I think, so that we can have a better 4th of July holiday. All right, rain chance. Going 70 to 80% chance for Wednesday. On and off, okay? Starting in the morning, right? You can see the coverage is pretty even. Thursday, that's probably our best chance. I think especially Tampa southward will start to pile up a little bit more rain. Then on Friday, this is some just light afternoon stuff here. This is midday, and then that might be fading and then moving to the south. Look how much rain is down here on Friday afternoon into the evening hours versus up to the north. Okay, and that's an indication that we're seeing drier air. Look at that you see right there for Friday where it's drier to the north, still some rain, but look at Saturday. Same deal, drier. Even less rain down south than on Friday, but still more down south than up north. Sunday right now looks to be even drier than that. So we went 60% on Saturday, 50% on Sunday. Not sure what's going to happen in the Atlantic with that particular potential developing system. I don't see anything strong at this time, so it may just be washed out with some moisture, and some of that could get thrown our way, especially by Saturday night and Sunday. So the Sunday forecast is still, for me, kind of up in the air. I mean, to be honest with you, so is Saturday for that matter, but it does look a lot drier. One of the things I can show you here is the water, the precipitable water. So this is a measure of the amount of moisture from the ground all the way up in a column of air. And if you were to squeeze that out like a sponge, how much would you get into like a little beaker, right? And that number would be close to 2 inches. That's a lot. Anything over 1.75, that's summertime stuff where we get afternoon showers and storms. It's one of the reasons why we get those, because we're heat, we're bubbling up, we've got enough moisture up there to squeeze out and make rain. If you don't have enough moisture, it'll bubble up and it'll start to evaporate. You don't get as much rain. This is showing us with numbers over 2 inches, in fact, 2.3 inches at times. So watch this number as we go through, and this is for right over top of Tampa. Look at that. That is Thursday morning around 11 o'clock. So anything that pops up on the day on Thursday is really going to give us some downpours. Flooding will be a possibility in those individual storms, okay? Then as we get into Friday at noon, we still got a lot of moisture, but look at Jacksonville. Between Jacksonville and Tampa, we're starting to show some drier air. And then look as we get into now, it looks like on to the, where are we at? Saturday, 4 a.m. in the afternoon, drying out a little bit, right? But what happens?